Well, welcome back to another edition or another episode, whatever you want to call it, of Trash Talk. Yeah, whatever
Yes,
whatever you call it, it's still Trash Talk.
it's true.
Nobody ever has called it an educational program. Uh,
It's definitely not.
but hey, I just had to throw something at you. I saw an article that they are bringing back Dallas. Dallas is again, for the second time, going
Here
to
we go.
be a test city for driverless vehicles.
Why? Why?
I don't know. Why didn't they pick some town of 5,000 people to try it out? You got to bring it into a city in the millions
Are
to
these General Motors cars?
Chevy is really behind it. It's called Cruise.
Cruise, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the original concept was it would be used for delivery vehicles, uh, both large and small, and then also they are working on developing it for highway use for the 18 wheelers for transporting stuff across the country. Uh, but I'm still trying to wrap my hand around why they're doing it in Dallas. They launched it originally in Dallas, tried it
Yeah,
there, and in San Francisco.
and it didn't work. It was a
It
mess.
didn't work. There was an incident. In fact, here where was it? It said that they uh the cruise said it began the manual driving in Dallas and in Phoenix. Oh, and it attempts to return to the roads. The company paused operations in October of 2023 when one of the cars in San Francisco failed to stop and dragged a pedestrian down the street,
Jesus.
which led to California banning the vehicles in the state. So naturally, California says, wait a minute, this thing is dangerous. Texas says, hey,
Hey, yeah, Texas is like, hey, you know what? This thing could kill more people.
yeah, that's
Hey,
right.
let's
Yeah. In fact,
go.
in fact, why don't we test them along the border? Because if they're going to go
Well,
all
I mean,
right,
that's
maybe
okay. That's
they'll
fine.
drags. But anyway, they've tried this with, we've talked in our shows even about some of these little delivery things that went down the sidewalk and would deliver
Well, they did
pizzas and
that. They did the
donuts.
robots. They did the robots for a while. They sent those. They like to do those in college campuses, and those things worked pretty well for the most part.
Yeah.
But here's my issue. Cruise already had several software mishaps. They had I mean, they dragged a pedestrian down the street. It's like freaking Terminator over here.
Yeah.
And they dragged a pedestrian down the street. Why are we doing this? So, from what I'm reading now on my notes, Cruise has had major software updates. Big deal.
Right.
They hired a chief safety officer. Allegedly, they didn't have one last time.
Right. Yeah. It was unsafe. So now they figure it's probably still unsafe, but they'll hire somebody to let us know if it's safe or not. And then also during this test period, they will have they will have a person inside this autonomous vehicle. That's the new buzzword is AV. Like EV is an electric vehicle, AV is an autonomous vehicle.
Is that their pronouns?
Yeah. And now what all the AV vehicles are going to be EV vehicles, but they're going to put a driver inside these unsafe cars just
That's good.
just to so that they can not only watch to see when something goes wrong, but sacrifice their own bodies for the sake of
So essentially, what they're doing is they're literally going to have a student driver without the student, and then the teacher will be in there. Is the teacher going to have a laptop where they can punch in an override? No, don't kill that person. This is a turn right.
It's sending the car to go deliver this from point A to point B, and there's a guy just going to be sitting behind the wheel doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
Probably.
This is the stupidest I get. Now, don't get me wrong. It's about to be 2025, and according to the Jetsons, we should have had flying cars years ago.
Yeah.
That being said, clearly we cannot afford to mess up anymore. But apparently, Cruise is also doing a partnership with Uber.
Yes,
So this gets worse.
that scares the heck out of me. Now, I'm
Yeah,
going
they're
to
gonna
put
they're gonna
myself
do
in danger by getting into a car that doesn't have a driver.
they're gonna do Chevy Bolt
Yes.
with Cruise. So let me get this straight. We already have issues with some Uber drivers. We're gonna just say, you know what? Here is your Chevy Bolt. Get in. We'll drive you wherever you want. What do we? They're gonna drop us. Like there's gonna be nobody in there to dictate where they go. Like I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Now, I mean, can you imagine sitting in the back seat of this Uber car with no driver, and all of a sudden you show up at the Fort Worth airport, and you've got nobody to tell that you were supposed to go to Love Field. They took you to the wrong because there's nobody to talk to.
There's nobody to talk to. Here's the other thing too. Like it hasn't even been a year yet since they killed that pedestrian. You know, it has, and like this is serious. This reminds me of RoboCop.
Right.
Like when before RoboCop came, they kept on trying all those different robots, and they're like, well, we had some issues because they killed everybody, and then finally, like, oh, we'll try it again. You know, like this is insane. Like, have they seen how Texas people drive? We have the worst drivers. They're the worst. Our roads are chaos. It's like Grand Theft Auto out there.
Yeah.
And Dallas has potholes and broken roads. And come on.
Now, here, I want to paint another picture. So going down the highway, and this car is acting a little erratic, and all of a sudden a squad car turns on the siren,
yeah,
and pulls up and pulls this driverless vehicle over. Can you see the expression on this cop when he walks up to the car to say license and registration, and there's nobody in the car?
Is there like, are cops going to have an emergency shut off? They're just like, hold on, I know that vehicle. Well, like, and what if you're in the Uber and the Uber driver starts acting crazy and the cop pulls it over and it's like, hey, by the way, we have, I need all your drivers and registrations, all your license, because there's nobody in the passenger or the front seat. Like,
yeah, and the poor schmo in the back seat who's just trying to get to where he's going is being driven by a driverless car, and now he can't answer. I don't know. I'm trying to get to the airport here.
No, it's a bad idea. Look, it's a bad idea. I just realized that my microphone clip was hanging. So in this episode, if you just keep hearing me rubbing, it's the microphone rubbing on my chest, guys. Just I'm so excited about this.
Well, that's pretty soon. We're probably going to have hostless conversations here. You're just going to two pictures on the screen of two barrels of trash and everything, and we ain't going to be here. We're just
well, I mean, I've seen that. I mean, like, have you watched some of these TikTok videos? It's just like a screen, and then somebody's talking, but you have no idea where they are. They're just floating in the heavens. I literally was down the rabbit hole on TikTok the other night. I was really into what I was watching. It was this behind the scenes on the death of Brandon Lee, and I started I don't know what happened, and all of a sudden there was a screen and it had the picture of Brandon Lee on it, and that was it. And then I heard somebody doing a voiceover, and I'm like, okay, they're going to come back on. But I noticed it was a TikTok live. There was no face. It was just a picture of Brandon Lee, and this dude was just talking about it without ever showing him. And I'm like, it's like a live podcast, but no host. Like, it was the weirdest thing ever. I got bailed out of it. I bounced.
Yeah. It's a new version of voiceovers.
Yeah, I hated it.
So. You know, I mean, to a point, I can understand where maybe a local pizzeria would have a driverless vehicle that could pull up in front of your house.
Who takes it out? Who takes the pizza out?
Notify you do. You
no. Do it. Okay, are they going to charge me less then? They should take $3 off.
The deal is the vehicle pulls up in front of your house, notifies you by text that your pizza has arrived. You go out, you enter a little code, the lift gate goes up, you take your pizzas out, bye-bye.
No. They need to no, because okay, so now you're making more work too, though, because you still have to pay somebody at the pizza place to put the pizzas in, and then you got to send them out. So fine, you don't have to pay a driver, but those cars aren't cheap.
Yeah.
And now but you're not giving me a discount for walking
When
down
they had
three
the little
flights of stairs.
robots, when they had the robots that came around to deliver your donuts and your
Yeah.
pizzas and stuff like that, did that last? No, they finally said it
Well,
wasn't worth the cost.
well, no, it wasn't worth the cost. And they also moved those from city to city. And their biggest thing is they want to do it on campuses. They
Well,
were testing them out to launch them on campuses. And it just so happened was they were testing them out right during the COVID mess. So everybody's like, I don't even want donuts. I just want to see a freaking robot, you know?
So you're telling me they want to test out these robot delivery services on college campuses where there are students that are dying to have a job delivering pizzas to make a little money
First
for
off,
college.
I don't know what student you're talking to that is dying to have a
Well,
pizza job,
that's
number
true.
one. Number two, I don't know what student on college campus is even looking for a job these days when half of
That's
them don't want to work.
that's true. They don't even want to go to
So
college.
they don't even, so I mean, like, who cares? Like, if anything, they're probably happy. You know, mommy and daddy just bought them a $25 dozen donuts from a robot, you know?
It's Well, I mean, I sure if I called Uber and I walked out my front door and walked up to that car and there
I'm
was
not
a
going.
driver,
I'm not going.
goodbye, sorry,
No,
sorry.
no. I'm either staying where I'm going or I'm trying to go down the line until a human being or I'm walking, you know, one of the two, man.
That's Well, folks, how whatever you think about it, I just think it's hilarious
That is.
to see a I mean, what's next? Yeah, and now, and I mean, drones. I can understand a drone delivery coming and dropping something on your front porch, and all
Yeah.
that I can see. But driverless cars on the highway. Plus, you're driving down the highway and you look over in the next lane and there's a car and no driver in it. You're focused on that car. You're going to end up getting in an accident yourself because you took your eyes off the road.
Yeah, I don't see this ending well. Guys, if you see this roll out in Dallas, we'll find the date. I would avoid Dallas streets.
Yeah. And kudos Dallas for really taking the wrong road on this one.
Yeah, perfect.
So,
Great opportunity
all
here.
right. Go out and make it a good one. Join us again next Tuesday morning. Bye.